The learning objective of topic 1.2 is explain the quantitative relationship between the mass spectrum of an element and the masses of the element's isotopes. So, what is isotope? What is mass spectrum? So, what is the quantitative relationship between them? So, we'll discuss all these in this video. So, let's start. Hello everyone, the topic is mass spectroscopy of elements. This is topic 1.2 from AP Chemistry College Board. In topic 1.1, I discussed what is atomic mass, what is atomic mass unit, and other things also related to that. But what is atomic number? What is mass number? So let's see what are these. So whenever we see in chemistry that an element is written in this kind of representation, that there is a subscript, there is a superscript, but what are these for an element? Suppose we are talking about lithium. This is Li is lithium. It has a subscript of 3 and a superscript of 7. So what is this 3? 3 is the atomic number, which is actually the number of protons. So the number of protons present in an element or an atom is called as an atomic number. And this superscript is 7. What is the superscript? Superscript is the mass number and it is the sum of protons and neutrons. So an atom is composed of electrons, protons and neutrons. So the number of protons is represented as atomic number and the mass number is sum of number of protons and number of neutrons. So we know from this atomic number that the number of protons is 3. Now if the number of protons is 3, the mass number is 7. From this we can calculate the number of neutrons, which will come out to be 4. For a neutral atom, the number of electrons is always equal to number of protons. So if we know the atomic number of an element, we can tell the number of protons and as well as the number of electrons. But for an ion, for positively charged ion, number of electrons would be number of protons minus the charge. So ion is represented as the element with some superscript on the right hand side. So that is the charge of that element and it is called an ion. So for a positively charged ion, the number of electrons would be number of protons minus the charge, and if it is negatively charged ion, then the number of electrons would be number of protons plus charge. So let's see this with an example. The question is, which is true of the Am243 3 positive ion? So we can see that there is a charge on the element. So Am is americium. So Am3 positive, it means that it's an ion, okay, and it is positively charged. Other thing which is mentioned is 243. As it is written as a superscript before the element, it means that it is the mass number. Atomic number of Am is given as 95. So we know the atomic number. This means that we know the number of protons. So if atomic number is 95, it means that it is the number of protons. Now I already told you for an ion, the number of electrons would be atomic number, or you can say the number of protons minus the charge. So if we know the atomic number, which is 95, minus the charge is 3 positive here. So it means that minus 3. So it will come out to be 92. So number of electrons is 92, number of protons is 95, and if we want to calculate the mass number, it's given as 243. So if we want to calculate the number of neutrons, it would be written as 243, that is mass number, minus the number of protons, which is 95. So it will give you the answer as 148. So we know the number of neutrons, we know the number of electrons, and we know the number of protons. So which of these options is correct is D, which is 95 protons, 92 electrons, and 148 neutrons. In the learning objective, we saw that there was a term called isotopes. Now, what are these? Isotopes are the atoms of same element which have different masses. It means that if we are talking about hydrogen, see, their mass numbers are different. So H1, which is called as protium, H2, which is deuterium, and H3, which is tritium. So their mass numbers are different, but the elements are same. Next thing is masses are different because of difference in the number of neutrons. I already told you that the mass number is equal to number of protons plus number of neutrons. So if the number of neutrons is different, then mass number would be different. Here you can see that number of protons is same. Here one, and here one. But number of neutrons is different. Here for H1, that is protium, it is 0. For deuterium, it is 1. And for tritium, there are 2 neutrons. So these are 3 isotopes of hydrogen. Let's see for chlorine. There are 2 isotopes of chlorine, which is chlorine 35 and chlorine 37. Here also you can see that the mass numbers are different. Now again, mass numbers are different because of the difference in the number of neutrons. So isotopes have same number of electrons, same number of protons, but different number of neutrons and different masses. Now let's start with mass spectroscopy. In the learning objective, again I talked about mass spectrum. So what is mass spectrum? How do we obtain it? So mass spectrum is obtained from mass spectroscopy. I am talking about mass numbers and masses every time, right? But how do we actually get it? How do we actually find it? That is obtained by the technique which is called as mass spectroscopy. Now, spectroscopy is a technique in which we get an information about the atom, or you can say about the element. We get this information as it is called as mass spectroscopy. So we are getting the information about the mass numbers. Now, the essential knowledge which is mentioned in the topic is the mass spectrum of a sample containing a single element can be used to determine the identity of the isotopes of that element and the relative abundance of each isotope in nature. It says that if we get a mass spectrum from mass spectroscopy of a single element, it will give an information about the isotopes of that element as well as the abundance. Abundance means how much percentage of each isotope is present in that element. Let's see an example and try to understand it more. If we find the mass spectrum of natural copper, so copper is an element. So if we want to get the mass spectrum, we get this kind of spectrum. So this mass spectrum is a graph between mass over charge ratio with relative number of atoms. So it is giving 2 peaks, right? 2 bars we can see. So these bars, if there are 2 bars, we can say that this element has 2 isotopes. So here we can see 2 bars. So it has 2 isotopes. One isotope is 63 copper, another isotope is 65 copper. Now, from this percentages, we can say that how much copper 63 is present and how much copper 65 is present. So here, the percentage is 69%. So it means that if we take a natural copper sample, it will contain copper 63 as 69% and copper 65 as 31%. So here the graph comes out to be 31%. This tells that copper has 2 isotopes and that too copper 63 is more abundant than copper 65 because it is 69% and copper 65 is 31%. Now let me tell you what is average atomic mass. Average atomic mass of an element can be estimated from the weighted average of the isotopic masses using the mass of each isotope and its relative abundance. So it means that whatever information we get from the mass spectrum, that is the isotopes, number of isotopes and their percentage abundance. From that we can actually calculate the average atomic mass. Now why average atomic mass is important? Whenever we see a periodic table, we can see that, see, if we talk about the chlorine only, we can see that the atomic mass mentioned is 35.45, but actually the mass numbers from the isotopes are 35 and 37. So but actual atomic mass which is mentioned in periodic table is different from these two. So how is it calculated? It is calculated from their percentage abundance. So there's a formula which can help in calculating this. So the formula is average atomic mass is equal to atomic mass of isotope 1 multiplied by percentage abundance plus atomic mass of isotope 2 multiplied by percentage abundance plus so on. So however, how many isotopes the element has, what we will do is we will take the atomic mass of each of that isotope and multiply it with its percentage abundance and so on. So let's try it for the chlorine. So in these images we can see that for chlorine 35 the abundance is 75% and for chlorine 37 the abundance is 25%. So we will take these two things and calculate it. So what we have taken is atomic mass of isotope 1 which is 35 multiplied by percentage abundance which is 75%. Now we take for the second isotope. For second isotope the atomic mass is 37, so here it is 37 multiplied by percentage abundance which is 25% divided by 100. So when we will do this calculation we will get the answer as 35.5 AMU. In the topic 1.1 also I explained that atomic mass is mentioned in AMU. So that is why in periodic table also you will see that the atomic mass is 35.45 which is near to this value. Like this, we can calculate the average atomic mass. Let's see one more example. So the question is, calculate the average atomic mass of oxygen if its abundance in nature is 99.76% oxygen 16, 0.04% oxygen 17 and 0.20% oxygen 18. So we can see here that oxygen has three isotopes and for each isotope the abundance is mentioned. So let's see how will it be calculated. So we will use the same formula. So average atomic mass of oxygen will be 16. The 16 is the mass number. So 16 multiplied by its percentage abundance. So 99.76 mentioned here plus 17 multiplied by 0.04 plus 18 multiplied by 0.20 divided by 100. So when we will do these calculation, we will get the answer as 16.0044 AMU. That is why whenever we take the mass of oxygen, we take it as 16 AMU. I hope this is clear to everyone. So we have just used the formula and found out the average atomic mass. So let's see one more example. So here a mass spectrum is given. This mass spectrum is for lithium. So we can see two peaks here. One is at 6 AMU and another is at 7 AMU. Here in this table, the relative intensity is given, which is similar to the percentage abundance. So for relative intensity of 6 AMU is 8 and for 7 AMU is 100. So let's see questions. So the first question is how many isotopes of lithium exist? So we can see from this spectrum that there are two peaks. So we can see that lithium exists as two isotopes. And from this table also we can see that two figures are given. So there are two isotopes of lithium. That is, one has mass number of 6 and another has mass number of 7. What masses are present on the graph for the following? The mass of the most abundant isotope. So we can see from this graph as which one has more intensity. 7 has more intensity. So it is most abundant isotope. So we can write here as 7 AMU. The mass of the least abundant isotope would be 6 AMU. Next question is label the each peak with the nuclide symbol of each isotope. So what is nuclide symbol? Nuclide symbol is what I told you in the beginning, that is X, then A, and then Z. This is called the nuclide symbol. For isotope having the mass of 6, we would write it as lithium. So atomic number of lithium is 3, and for 6 it would be written as 6, and for other isotope it would be written as 3, 7, right? Their atomic numbers would be same, which is 3, but the mass numbers would be different. Next question is, without performing any calculations, predict the approximate atomic mass for lithium. So what does this mean? You don't have to do the calculation which we did for the average atomic mass, and you have to predict that what would be the average atomic mass for lithium. So how would we do it? So we can see the relative intensities here. So as for 7 AMU, the relative intensity is 100. It means that the average atomic mass would be lying near to 7 and it would be far from 6. So we can say that it would be around 6.9, because the difference between the relative intensity is too much. As for 7 AMU, the relative intensity is 100 and for other it is 8. So the average atomic mass would be lying near to 7. It would be near to 7. As it is too much of difference, so we can predict that it would be around 6.9. I hope this thing is clear to you. From this calculation, from these information, you can also calculate the average atomic mass. Just you need to keep one thing in mind, that you have to calculate it like 6 multiplied by 8 plus 7 multiplied by 100 and divided by 100 plus 8, because here the thing is not given in percentage abundance. So what we would do is we would add up the 100 plus 8, and from this you can find out the average atomic mass, and you would see it that it would be near to 6.9. So let's see the learning objective again, and let's see how we have covered all the things. The objective was explain the quantitative relationship between the mass spectrum of an element and the masses of the element's isotopes. So I told you what is mass spectrum, I told you what is isotopes, and I also told you about the quantitative relationship, which was the formula for average atomic mass. I hope all this thing was clear to you. Please like and subscribe to the channel Log Iota and press the bell icon.